New pricing tier and donation feature can be used anytime that you're scheduling an event, a series, or even if you want to add it to booking appointments. In order to access this feature, if you're scheduling an event, you would just click on schedule. You would add your event just like you normally would be doing. In this case, I'll be scheduling this particular event. Let's say it's a mindfulness event. It's online. And I've got the price, and now you'll see when I scroll down, there's this new option that says allow payment or tiered pricing / donation. So if I click on this option, you'll now see a new pop-up window. The first thing you'll notice is that you can change the description, the display text. So in this case, I'll change it to pay what you can. And this text will show up both on the event description page and on the registration pop-up when students are actually registering for the event. So you can change this to say whatever you'd like. And there are 3 different ways that you can configure this. By default, it's enabled for donations. So in this case, you'll see that this little box is checked that says allow client to enter any payment amount. And in this case, the default is 0. So this means that a client who's registering for your event could enter 0 or anything above 0, as much as they wanted to. If I wanted to set a minimum donation amount, that's where I would set this. In this case, let's say I want to set it to 15. And in this case, you'll see that if I go ahead and hit create, I go back to the website, I look at the event, the first thing you'll see is that on the event description, it says pay what you can, because that's what I changed the text to say. And then when I hit register, you'll also see that it says pay what you can, and then here's the box. And so I can enter 0, or I can enter any other amount that I would like and go ahead and register. So that's the first setting. If you want to set up a different setting, all you need to do is go back and edit the event, scroll back down, and you'll see this little edit next to the allowed tiered pricing and donations. And let's say now that what I want to do is set up different pricing tiers. So in this case, I'll set up a base amount and I'll make that 20. And notice that the lowest price that I set has to be above the minimum donation amount that I'm setting, because in this case, if let's say I set it below 10, it should give me an error message when I try to hit done. Yep, and it says nope, it has to be above the minimum price. So in this case, I'll go ahead and delete that, and I'll make sure that the base price is 20. And then I'll add another pricing tier. I'll go ahead and hit the plus button, and then I'll add my last pricing tier. I'll make sure I hit the plus button. So you have to make sure you hit the plus button in order for it to save. And so what this does is it now says that it'll give 4 options, because it'll give the 3 pricing tiers that I just set, but it will also give an other option because I'm allowing the ability for the client to enter any payment amount above $15. So they can choose from one of these 3 pricing tiers, or they can choose other and set any amount that's above $15. Now, if I wanted that to still include the option to pay 0 as a donation, let's say it's a pay what you can, and I want to make sure that 0 is an option, then I can set that to 0. And now when I go ahead and hit done and hit save, when I go back to look at the event, you'll see that the settings have now changed. So that now when a client clicks on register, they get the 3 different pricing tiers that I set, and they also have this other option. And since I set the amount to 0, I can enter 0, and that is a valid choice. And you'll notice that the color scheme for these pricing tiers matches whatever color scheme you set up for your website. So this is how we make sure that the look and the feel looks the same. So the last option that you can set with this new feature is if you don't want to allow a client to enter any amount, you actually want to force them to choose between the pricing tiers, all you have to do is go back into the event, click edit, and then go ahead and uncheck allow client to enter any payment amount. And now it'll only be these 3 pricing tiers. I'll go ahead and hit done, then I hit save. And when I go back to look at the event, you'll see that when I hit register, it now just has these 3 choices. So I have to choose from one of these 3 pricing tiers. So that's how this new feature works, and the same process would apply for event series. If you wanted to set up pricing tiers for your appointments, all you would have to do is go to your offerings, find one of your offerings that has appointments enabled. You go ahead and click on the little edit button near enable appointments. And then when you scroll down, you'll see the same option that says allow tiered pricing and donations. And you'll see that I've already set up these in a prior instance. And again, notice that I changed the display text to say something different. So in this case, I wanted it to be a sliding scale. I set up the different pricing tiers. I hit done, and then I hit save. And now when I go back to the website, you'll see that if I actually look at the appointments, it'll show up as the pricing tier. So if I were to register for an appointment, and let's say I don't want to use a package, you can also have your clients use a package. You'll see that these are the 3 tiers. And if they're using a package, then what it'll do is it'll just remove 1 credit. So in this instance, if they're just paying for cash, they have to choose one of the pricing tier options. So this is how you can use the setting with appointments in addition to using it with your events or your series. So we hope you enjoy this new pricing tier donation feature, and we look forward to seeing all that you have to offer.